I think when I registered to do a talk about AI, there was not much talks about AI, and now all of a sudden everybody was talking about AI. But perhaps I can share a light a little bit, and let's take a couple of steps back and talk about AI and break it down a little bit more so that people can understand how easy it is um, to use it, basically. So I'm talking about quick AI functions. So I did a couple of months ago. I checked out ways of enhancing your wiki by the use of AI. Okay, so but I'm not going to talk about using AI to feed content to your website because you know the information you get from AI, it's not confirmed, it's not really 100% reliable. Actually, it usually never is. So that's very hard. So I'm not going to talk about that, but I'm going to talk about why AI might be good for you, um, and just focusing on the function AI is good at. Basically, giving it some text and asking for a keyword overview or help in creating content or summarize large documents, because then it can focus on what's actually there and analyze that and give you a feedback. And that's usually very, very good. Same with translating. And I just saw the presentation of Jeffrey. And yet translating it's amazing what it can do. And of course, it can analyze your data. Now, why would we want to be doing that? Well, we just saw another presentation on knowledge, well, on why knowledge management is so very, very interesting. It's because you can be more productive, and you can cut down on tasks that you need to do every single time because they need to be done. So the tedious tasks, but you can also get more insight on the content you're creating. If you're writing a text, you're writing the text, but you can ask AI if you're not missing anything regarding that subject. And it can give you feedback, which is pretty interesting. So what did I do as a proof of concept? Okay, in the company and in many other companies, people go to the Chat GPT website and then they ask questions. So first I thought, okay, let's take away that step and put it in the sidebar of the wiki. So you have like a Chat GPT ready in the sidebar of your wiki, and ask it questions to help you generate content, translate things, and also later on add specific extra options for your users if you want to. But for the concept, I didn't want for the tryout, I didn't even want to do that. So I did, and actually, literally, this took me 3 hours. So in 3 hours' time, I had ChatGPT inside my wiki, and I could ask it questions. But it was just very simple. I just had ChatGPT in my wiki. And then of course I thought, okay, well, let's take that a step further and have it actually do something with the content on my wiki. So I created, and it took me another hour. So I enhanced the chat that I had on the side, and I enhanced it here a little bit or enlarged it a little bit. And I added an AI options button, page options button. And where you can just say, okay, I got a page which is about Oosterhout, which is where our company is based. And I ask, can you give me relevant keywords for that page? And so it gives me the keywords for that page. And it's just a copy of Wikipedia that I put there, I think. But I get it in Dutch because the article is in Dutch. And then I just ask, can I give it in English, please? And I get it in English. And this is, well, in total, half a day's work, basically, by creating an extension that talks to the API of ChatGPT or OpenAI in this case. It's all really straightforward and it's pretty easy. And I added some JavaScript so I created an API function for that extension I made. And then JavaScript just grabs the text that's here and sends it to AI. Oh, actually not AI, sends it to the API for the extension I made. And the extension talks to the AI, in this case, ChatGPT or OpenAI. And you can tweak whatever you want to ask. So in this case, you see on the right side, you see a kind of a chat that we have, but of course in the background, I give it the content of the page, and I just tell AI, this is the question I got from the user. It's about this page. Just give me an answer. If you can't find the answer, then don't give me an answer, making it sure that it's content based from the website. So yeah, but you don't have to. You can actually say, if the content is missing context, please provide me with more additional information. So there's a lots of things that you can do. And when I looked at Juggle just now, that I think those are those AI options that you get, the assistants, the different kind of assistants. They kind of fine tune your question for you, making sure that the answer you'll get will be related to whatever AI function it should do. And then I took it a little bit further. That took me another half a day because we simply did not have code to quickly grab some information from Elasticsearch. We do have Wikisearch, of course, which does everything with Elasticsearch. But you can use basically any search engine. But the good thing about Wikisearch is, and I tried it first, if I ask a question to Wikisearch, which is pretty amazing. So if I type into Wikisearch, what can you tell me about the template alert? It will give me as the first result, the page template alert. As soon as I saw that, I thought, okay, I can add this to the AI because I get the relevant information from the first hit from Wikisearch. In this case, what I did is there's no other information there. I'm on the sidebar and I asked, what can you tell me about the template alert? And the answer I get is actually specifically the template alert that we have in our OpenCSP part. And it tells me exactly everything. It allows users to customize the message content type of alert, font awesome, icon displayed. And if you need to have more information, have a look at the page itself. That's the link. And there's users instructions on that page as well. I tried it with a module page. OpenCSP comes with a lot of modules. So Lua functions. And if I ask about information about that page, it will actually describe to me the Lua function, what variables, and in the end, it gives you a summary. So this module is taking care of version history for the OpenCSP pages. So that's pretty interesting. So there's not only, it does not only show you that you can do things with the content, but you can make it so very interesting that it will actually analyze if there's code on the page or JSONs or whatnot, which is pretty, really pretty interesting. Now, when I started to do this, there was not, I first looked at LLMs and all those kind of things, and it was pretty, how should I say that? That was going to be involving a lot of work. But in the last couple of months, there has been so many changes and so many features added that if you look at, and I think Victor from Pega already touched this as well, but if you have the means of getting your data into the Microsoft Graph database, then Copilot will be able to use that information. So Copilot is like the Microsoft Fire and the Microsoft ChatGPT basically, but then for the structure within Microsoft. So we're using SharePoint and all those kind of things on Microsoft 365. It has access to all that information, so it can combine an answer for you. So if you feed your wiki data to that graph database from Microsoft, that's the only thing you need to do. And then you can just ask Copilot things, and it will include the results of your wiki as well. That wasn't possible 4 months ago. And Google is doing the same things, and does so for sharing your information that you have on a wiki to make sure that the AI works for it. That is becoming more easier and more easier. Now, okay, the things I've shown you, I must say, those are using the OpenAI, so that you're kind of, if it comes to data that you want to share, which is not for public, because if you have a company that the content of your website, you want to keep it private, then just put your wiki in Azure and use the Azure OpenAI, basically, that they have. And then it will stay inside your whole Azure environment and it will go nowhere. But the principle is still the same. That also was not possible 4 months ago. So there's a lot of changing in this area. And I just wanted to show you that if you really like to have some AI functionality, it's not that difficult. It's pretty easy to do. And you narrow it down if you want to have it private. Okay, then we talk about, perhaps using an Azure AI assistant so that it keeps your data safe, or what Jeffrey's done, find a good partner that can handle security for you. But this is basically the time to have a look at this if you want to add that to if you want to add content to AI and help you do the things that I mentioned here to be more productive, not only for you, but if I just look at if I get a new colleague and they need to figure out how how a wiki works and how a template works, etc., he could ask the AI about information about a certain template or a certain module or whatever, and it would give him the answer. If it's still not an answer he's satisfied with, or he still doesn't understand it, he can come to me or other colleagues. But so there's so many areas where you can improve, not only for customers, but also in your own company. I wrote a developer log about this. So if you want to have a look at basically the steps that I did and briefly, well, basically everything I said here is in the developer log. And you can find it on wikibasesolutions.com. If you go to the developer logs, there's a search bar there and just type getting started or something and you'll find it. So that's it. That was a quick presentation, but I just wanted to take like 5 steps back because you see so many really wonderful things happening with AI, but it's all kind of magical, right? Doesn't really show you how to do it. And it's pretty easy, again. So if anybody needs some help, let me know. That's it. You're welcome. Oh, I didn't even turn my microphone or my video on. Sorry. Sorry, I didn't have my camera on. I didn't notice that until now. Yes, very sorry. Well, it took me like 3 hours to get ChatGPT in there. Um, so it all kind of depends on the complete infrastructure that you have. Is the data already in Microsoft Graph? I didn't really understand that just now. Um, that if it's all there, then there's various ways to use Copilot within your wiki, or you could use it outside of your wiki because you don't have to use it inside your wiki because it's in Copilot. So just use Copilot wherever you want to use it. But you can create a parser function and talk to Copilot. Yes, I haven't tried that, but this wasn't difficult, so I'm very confident that wouldn't be difficult as well. Would you still need MediaWiki? Yes. Yes, of course, because we've seen so many demonstrations and presentations now about knowledge bases. Um, if there's something that the Microsoft structure is not, in my opinion, is a full good knowledge base. So if you have your knowledge base done within your wiki, it doesn't matter how you've done it, but if you have your structured data within the wiki, but you open that up to Copilot, the answers Copilot will give you will be so good because you've got structured data, because your data is so good structured. And of course, there's a scheme, right? So when you put the data into the Microsoft Graph, you create a scheme where you exactly tell what the data is, what it means, and all those kind of things, so that the Copilot can make sense of what it is. But then still, the base needs to be good, and I do not think currently anything better than MediaWiki is out there. Was that answer your question? Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, so and again, just and that's not to promote it, but just try OpenCSP, especially now when it's on Canasta. You can turn your MediaWiki into a knowledge base in like 10 minutes. It's crazy. It seriously is crazy. You need to get the know-how of how to, set up the data. You need to think about your data before you can start actually creating, pages that have metadata that makes sense. But if you have that, then you can just start and doing it.